So at General Motors, we're just focused on executing well. We've, really worked to listen and understand what the customer's looking for.
GM CEO just announced that they have got bad news for GMC Sierra 1500 owners. This is not just disappointing, it is beyond that, and owners are frustrated. And let's be honest, the 2024 GMC Sierra looks impressive at first glance, but beneath the surface lies a story every truck buyer needs to hear. In a market packed with innovation and value, this truck raises some serious questions. Why are so many people second-guessing their decision to buy one? And could choosing this truck cost you more than you expect? If you're thinking about buying a 2024 GMC Sierra, these 10 reasons could save you thousands of dollars and spare you endless headaches. What's happening? The GMC Sierra 1500 has long been a respected name in the car industry, but recent announcements from General Motors have sparked a wave of frustration among its loyal customers. GM's CEO delivered some disappointing news regarding the 2024 Sierra, highlighting several critical issues that have owners questioning their choices. At first glance, the 2024 Sierra appears to be an appealing vehicle. However, beneath the surfaces lies a series of problems that undermine its reputation. The announcement couldn't have come at a worse time, as truck buyers now have more options than ever, many of which provide better value for money. So what exactly makes the GMC Sierra a controversial choice? And what are the underlying reasons behind GM's unexpected announcement? The Silverado does it better for less. When you hear GMC Sierra, do you not also think of the Chevrolet Silverado? You should, because these two trucks are essentially twins, separated only by branding and pricing. At their core, both vehicles share the same DNA, but the Silverado consistently proves to be the better deal. It is not just about the price tag, but about what you get for your money. Let us break it down. Both trucks offer a range of cab and bed configurations, from regular cabs to crew cabs, with bed lengths ranging from 5.8 feet to 8.2 feet. Engine options are identical, starting with the turbocharged 2.7-liter inline-4 engine and extending to the powerhouse 6.2-liter V8. There is even a 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-6 Duramax diesel engine available for those who prioritize fuel efficiency and torque. But here is the catch. While the GMC Sierra and Chevrolet Silverado might look different on the outside, with unique grills and design flourishes, they are functionally identical underneath the surface. Both trucks roll off the same assembly lines and use the same parts, from their frames to their transmissions. Despite this, the Sierra consistently costs more at every trim level. For example, while the Sierra Elevation trim level starts at over $52,000, the Silverado RST, which offers comparable features, starts at under $49,000. The difference in pricing becomes even more pronounced when you look at the luxury trims. The Denali Ultimate, the crown jewel of the Sierra lineup, starts at a staggering $85,000. Meanwhile, the Silverado High Country, which offers similar luxury appointments, begins at approximately $64,000. That is a gap of over $20,000 for what amounts to minor cosmetic differences and a brand badge. Even in terms of towing, the Silverado edges out the Sierra. The 2024 Silverado can tow up to 13,300 pounds, compared to the Sierra's maximum of 13,200 pounds. While this difference might not matter to all buyers, it raises a fundamental question: why would you pay more for a truck that performs slightly worse? To sum it up, the Chevrolet Silverado is the smarter choice for anyone considering a General Motors Company truck. It offers all the same core capabilities as the Sierra, but at a significantly lower cost. Whether you are a budget-conscious buyer or just someone who values getting the most for your money, the Silverado consistently outshines the Sierra. An outdated interior that feels stuck in the past. For many truck buyers, the interior is just as important as the engine or towing capacity. After all, this is where you will spend most of your time. Unfortunately, the GMC Sierra falls short in this department, offering an interior that feels more like a relic of the past than a showcase of modern design. The base models of the Sierra feature a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system, which pales in comparison to the larger screens offered by competitors. To access the more advanced 13.4-inch touchscreen, you must step up to the more expensive trims like the SLE. While this larger screen is a welcome addition, it still struggles to match the tech-heavy interiors of rivals like the Ford Motor Company F-Series and Stellantis Ram pickups. Beyond the technology, the overall cabin design feels uninspired. Cheap plastics are prevalent in the lower trims, and even the higher-end Denali Ultimate trim does not completely escape this issue. While the Denali Ultimate tries to elevate the experience with features like leather accents, wood embellishments, and a plush microsuede headliner, it still falls short when compared to the luxurious interior of the Ram 1500. The Ram offers a more cohesive and upscale design with premium materials and attention to detail that the Sierra simply cannot match. Even the Sierra's heavy-duty models like the 2500 HD and 3500 HD suffer from similar issues. These trucks are built for work, but their interiors fail to provide the level of comfort and refinement that modern buyers expect. The fit and finish of the components leave much to be desired, and the overall design feels dated compared to the competition. Another glaring issue is the lack of meaningful updates. While other manufacturers are constantly innovating and pushing the boundaries of interior design, the Sierra seems stuck in a time warp. The cabin layout and materials have not seen significant changes in years, making the truck feel outdated in a market that values modernization. Is the Sierra's price justified? The 2024 GMC Sierra comes with a hefty price tag that makes it hard to justify for most buyers. At the base level, the Sierra starts at just over $43,000. While that might sound competitive at first glance, it quickly becomes apparent that this truck demands a premium without offering much in return. For instance, to access mid-tier features like a 13.4-inch touchscreen infotainment system or leather seating, buyers must step up to the Sierra SLE trim, which starts at nearly $52,000. For buyers looking for luxury, the top-tier Denali Ultimate trim pushes the price to an astronomical $85,000. But here is the kicker. When you compare the Sierra to its corporate cousin, the Chevrolet Silverado, you start to see just how overpriced it is. The Chevrolet Silverado, which shares the same platform, engine options, and even many interior features, starts at a significantly lower price. At the base level, the Silverado undercuts the Sierra by approximately $1,000. As you move up the trim levels, the gap widens. For example, the Silverado High Country, which is comparable to the Sierra Denali, starts at around $64,000, over $20,000 less than the Denali Ultimate. The difference is not just in pricing, but also in value. The Chevrolet Silverado offers nearly identical towing capacity, payload capabilities, and engine performance. For example, the base 2.7-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine in both trucks delivers the same 310 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. Similarly, the 5.3-liter V8 and 6.2-liter V8 engines available in both models provide impressive power with no significant differences in performance. Despite this parity, the GMC Sierra demands a premium that many buyers find difficult to justify. And to make matters worse, the Sierra does not even lead in towing capacity among its competitors. Its maximum towing capacity of 13,200 pounds is impressive, but the Silverado edges it out with a slightly higher capacity of 13,300 pounds. While that 100-pound difference might seem minor, it underscores the broader issue. Why pay more for a truck that does not even excel in its core duties? For budget-conscious buyers or those simply looking for the best bang for their buck, the Chevrolet Silverado or other competitors like the Ford Motor Company F-Series and Stellantis Ram pickups offer far more compelling options. Tech that feels more 2014 than 2024. Technology is a crucial part of modern vehicles, especially for buyers who expect seamless connectivity, intuitive controls, and cutting-edge features. Sadly, the 2024 GMC Sierra misses the mark with its outdated and clunky technology. Let us begin with the infotainment system. While mid-tier and higher trims offer a 13.4-inch touchscreen display, the base models are stuck with a modest 7-inch screen. This small screen is not just unimpressive in size, it also suffers from slow responsiveness and an interface that feels outdated compared to the polished systems found in rivals like the Ford Motor Company F-Series and Stellantis Ram 1500. Even the larger touchscreen, available in pricier trims, struggles with laggy performance and an unintuitive layout that can frustrate drivers and passengers alike. Additionally, the placement and design of the physical controls leave much to be desired. Buttons and knobs often feel cheap, lack tactile feedback, and are not as intuitive as they should be. For example, adjusting climate controls or accessing key functions requires more effort than it should, taking the driver's attention off the road. For tech-savvy buyers, the lack of innovation in advanced driver assistance systems is another letdown. While the GMC Sierra does offer some basic features such as adaptive cruise control and lane-keeping assistance, these are largely restricted to the higher trims. Even then, the execution feels half-hearted compared to the sophisticated systems available in competitors. The Ford Motor Company F-Series, for instance, includes features like Blue Cruise, which allows for hands-free driving on select highways, while the Sierra's offerings feel like an afterthought. Finally, connectivity features also fall short. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are included, but these are now standard in nearly every vehicle on the market, including those that cost far less than the Sierra. Other competitors go the extra mile with features like wireless charging pads, head-up displays, and premium audio systems available even in mid-tier trims. In contrast, the Sierra reserves its more appealing tech for the top-end Denali Ultimate trim, forcing buyers to spend upwards of $85,000 for features that should be more accessible. The 2024 GMC Sierra lags far behind when it comes to technology. In a world where seamless integration and advanced features are becoming the norm, the Sierra's outdated tech is a glaring weak point. Driving blind, poor visibility design choices. Visibility is a fundamental part of driving, and it is an area where the 2024 GMC Sierra struggles. From its oversized hood to its bulky cabin design, the Sierra makes it unnecessarily difficult for drivers to see what is around them, creating potential safety hazards and reducing driving confidence. One of the biggest culprits is the wide and tall hood. While the hood adds to the truck's imposing appearance, it significantly hinders forward visibility. Shorter drivers in particular may find it challenging to judge the distance between the front of the truck and obstacles on the road or in parking lots. This issue is exacerbated when trying to navigate tight spaces such as urban streets or crowded parking garages. The cabin design also contributes to poor visibility. The thick A-pillars which frame the windshield obstruct the driver's view of the sides, especially when making turns or approaching intersections. Similarly, the rear pillars create large blind spots, making it difficult to monitor traffic or pedestrians when reversing. While blind spot monitoring and rear view cameras are available in the Sierra, they cannot fully compensate for these inherent design flaws. Another issue is the oversized center console inside the cabin. While it offers plenty of storage space, it also creates a sense of confinement and makes it harder for drivers to glance to their sides or even access the passenger side comfortably. This bulky design prioritizes aesthetics and storage over practicality, further detracting from the overall driving experience. In comparison, competitors like the Ford Motor Company F-Series and Stellantis Ram 1500 have addressed visibility concerns with sleeker designs, better sightlines, and more intuitive cabin layouts. These trucks also make better use of technology to enhance visibility, such as 360-degree camera systems and augmented reality overlays that provide a clearer view of the surroundings. Poor visibility is a major flaw in the 2024 GMC Sierra. From the oversized hood to the obstructive cabin design, the Sierra makes driving more stressful and less safe than it needs to be. Steering you wrong, vague handling issues. Handling is another critical aspect of a truck's performance, and it is an area where the 2024 GMC Sierra disappoints. While it delivers adequate power and towing capabilities, the steering and handling feel vague and disconnected, particularly at higher speeds or on winding roads. At lower speeds, the steering response is decent, allowing for manageable navigation through city streets or parking lots. However, as the truck picks up speed, the steering becomes increasingly imprecise. This lack of precision can make highway driving feel less stable and confident, especially when changing lanes or taking curves. The truck's large size further amplifies this issue, as it feels heavy and unwieldy in tighter turns. Body roll is another noticeable problem when cornering. The Sierra leans excessively, which not only reduces driver confidence, but also detracts from the overall comfort of the ride. Competing trucks like the Ford Motor Company F-Series and Stellantis Ram 1500 offer more refined suspension systems that help minimize body roll, providing a smoother and more composed driving experience. The disconnected feel of the steering is also worth mentioning. Drivers may find that the feedback from the road feels muted, making it harder to judge how the truck is responding to their inputs. This can be particularly problematic in scenarios that require precise control, such as towing heavy loads or navigating slippery conditions. To compound these issues, the brakes, while effective in emergency situations, can feel inconsistent during normal driving. The brake pedal often feels soft or unresponsive, which can make routine stops less smooth and predictable. This further adds to the overall feeling of vagueness in the Sierra's handling. From vague steering feedback to excessive body roll, the truck feels less refined and less capable than its competitors. For buyers who value a confident and composed driving experience, the Sierra is unlikely to meet expectations. Rides like a truck, and that's not a good thing. Trucks are expected to handle tough jobs, but that does not mean they should ride like a bucking bronco on uneven roads. Unfortunately, the 2024 General Motors Company Sierra delivers an old-school truck ride that feels outdated compared to its more refined competitors, making it hard to recommend for drivers seeking both capability and comfort. The Sierra's suspension is designed to handle heavy loads in rough conditions, but this focus comes at the expense of everyday usability. When the truck bed is empty, the ride can feel jittery and unsettled, particularly on bumpy or uneven surfaces. Instead of absorbing imperfections, the Sierra's suspension seems to amplify them. This is most noticeable when driving on poorly maintained roads or gravel paths, where every bump and dip is felt throughout the cabin. Over time, this jittery nature can make long drives tiring and unpleasant for both the driver and passengers, especially for those who value comfort as much as capability. Competitors like the Stellantis Ram 1500 have taken a different approach, achieving a better balance between workhorse toughness and ride comfort. The Ram's coil spring rear suspension, for instance, is widely praised for its smooth and composed ride quality, even when the truck bed is empty. This innovative design helps the Ram deliver a comfortable driving experience without sacrificing its capability to handle heavy loads. Similarly, the Ford Motor Company F-Series has made strides with its advanced suspension system, which absorbs road imperfections and provides a more refined driving experience. These features ensure that both trucks perform well during long trips, on highways, or while tackling tough jobs, making them versatile options for everyday use. Urban driving is another area where the Sierra's lack of refinement becomes glaringly apparent. Maneuvering this large truck through tight parking lots, narrow streets, or busy urban areas can feel cumbersome, especially when the suspension struggles to smooth out minor imperfections in the road. For drivers who use their trucks as daily commuters or multi-purpose vehicles, this lack of agility and comfort makes the Sierra feel less practical and versatile. In contrast, competitors like the Ford Motor Company F-Series and Ram 1500 offer greater maneuverability and a more forgiving ride in these environments. Even at higher speeds on open highways, the Sierra fails to impress. The truck struggles to maintain composure over rough stretches of road, with vibrations and jolts often making their way into the cabin. Wind noise and road vibrations further add to the discomfort, making the Sierra's cabin less insulated and less serene than many of its rivals. While it is true that the Sierra excels in towing and hauling, its inability to deliver a smooth, comfortable ride significantly limits its overall appeal for drivers who expect their truck to handle more than just heavy-duty tasks. The lack of ride comfort is a notable drawback for a truck in this price range, especially when other models in the same class have successfully addressed this issue, with buyers increasingly expecting trucks to serve as both work vehicles and family-friendly daily drivers. The 2024 General Motors Company Sierra's old-fashioned ride quality feels like a missed opportunity. Falls short where it matters: off-road. Off-road capability is a key consideration for many truck buyers, especially those who enjoy outdoor adventures or work in rugged environments. While the 2024 GMC Sierra does offer some off-road features, it falls short compared to competitors that excel in this area, such as the Ford Motor Company F-Series Raptor or even the Toyota Motor Corporation Tacoma TRD Pro. The Sierra's AT4 and AT4X trims are marketed as off-road ready options, but their performance leaves much to be desired. These models include features like a 2-inch factory-installed suspension lift, advanced spool valve dampers, electronic locking differentials, and skid plates to protect the undercarriage. While these additions are a step in the right direction, they fail to match the robust off-road systems found in competitors. For instance, the Ford Motor Company F-Series Raptor is equipped with cutting-edge technology like Fox Live valve dampers and a sophisticated suspension system that adjusts dynamically to changing terrain. The Raptor also features trail control, a kind of cruise control for off-road driving, and one-pedal driving, which simplifies navigating steep inclines and declines. These features make the Raptor not only more capable on rough terrain, but also easier and more intuitive to handle. In comparison, the Sierra's off-road offerings feel like an afterthought. Its suspension system, while upgraded for the AT4 trims, struggles to provide the same level of cushioning and stability as the Raptors. Additionally, the Sierra lacks advanced off-road technologies like terrain management systems that allow drivers to adjust the truck's performance settings based on specific conditions such as sand, mud, or snow. Even when considering more budget-friendly off-road options, the Sierra struggles to stand out. The Toyota Motor Corporation Tacoma TRD Pro, for example, offers a more compact and maneuverable design paired with features like crawl control and multi-terrain select, which allow it to tackle challenging trails with ease. By contrast, the Sierra feels more like a rugged workhorse designed primarily for towing and hauling on paved roads, rather than an off-road adventure machine. Safety recalls that raise red flags. When purchasing a new truck, safety should be one of the most critical factors in your decision-making process. Unfortunately, the 2024 GMC Sierra has already been plagued by safety recalls that raise serious concerns about its reliability and build quality. One particularly alarming recall involves a defect in the steering gear shaft, a critical component that directly impacts the vehicle's steering functionality. The issue with the steering gear shaft stems from a manufacturing defect caused by a supplier error. In the worst-case scenario, the gear shaft could break during operation, potentially causing the shaft to fully separate from the steering arm. If this occurs, drivers would lose all ability to control the vehicle's steering, which is a recipe for disaster. Imagine traveling at highway speeds or navigating a crowded urban street when the steering suddenly becomes non-functional. The potential for collisions, property damage, and even injuries or fatalities is too significant to ignore. General Motors Company has issued strict guidelines for dealerships to inspect all 2024 Sierra models affected by this recall. According to federal law, dealerships are prohibited from selling or even test driving any units that have not passed the necessary inspection and repairs. While General Motors Company has taken steps to address the issue, the fact remains that a safety defect of this magnitude should never have occurred in the first place. This recall is not an isolated incident. General Motors Company has a history of quality control issues, and the Sierra has been no stranger to safety-related recalls in the past. These problems undermine buyer confidence and raise concerns about the company's ability to consistently deliver reliable vehicles. In contrast, competitors like the Ford Motor Company F-Series and Stellantis Ram 1500 have managed to avoid similarly severe recalls in their most recent models, further highlighting the Sierra's shortcomings. For truck buyers, safety is non-negotiable. A vehicle that poses risks to its driver, passengers, and others on the road simply cannot be justified, no matter how appealing its features may be. While recalls can happen to any manufacturer, the nature and severity of this issue make the 2024 GMC Sierra a questionable choice for anyone prioritizing safety. A troubled history you can't ignore. Every vehicle carries a legacy, and unfortunately for the GMC Sierra, its past is riddled with problems that buyers should not overlook. From mechanical failures to electrical glitches, the Sierra has earned a reputation for unreliability that casts a long shadow over the 2024 model. One of the most notorious issues that has plagued the Sierra in previous years is the failure of the electric fuel pump. This critical component is responsible for delivering fuel from the tank to the engine, and when it malfunctions, the consequences can range from a stalled engine to complete breakdowns. Owners of older Sierra models have frequently reported this problem, leading to costly repairs and frustrating downtime. While General Motors Company claims to have addressed these issues in newer models, the recurring nature of the problem leaves room for doubt. Another well-documented issue is the clunking sound from the steering system. This problem, which is often linked to wear and tear in the intermediate steering shaft, can create a noisy and unpleasant driving experience. For a truck marketed as a premium option, this kind of flaw is unacceptable and suggests deeper issues with build quality and durability. The Sierra's history of erratic behavior extends to its electronics as well. Owners have reported fluctuating readings on the gauge cluster, with inaccurate fuel levels, speedometer readings, and engine temperature displays. While these issues might seem minor at first glance, they can lead to serious complications if left unaddressed. For instance, an inaccurate fuel reading could cause drivers to run out of gas unexpectedly, while a faulty speedometer could result in traffic violations or unsafe driving conditions. Heating and air conditioning systems have also been a frequent source of complaints. Owners have reported inconsistent performance, with the system switching between hot and cold air without warning. This not only affects comfort, but can also pose safety risks, such as fogged up windows during winter months that reduce visibility. Perhaps most concerning is that these problems are not isolated to specific model years or trims. A quick online search reveals countless discussions among Sierra owners lamenting their experiences with unreliable components and costly repairs. For prospective buyers, this legacy of problems raises important questions. Has General Motors Company truly resolved these issues in the 2024 Sierra, or are buyers taking a gamble on a truck with a troubled history? In comparison, competitors like the Ford Motor Company F-Series and Stellantis Ram 1500 have managed to build stronger reputations for reliability and long-term durability. While no vehicle is entirely free of flaws, the Sierra's track record stands out for all the wrong reasons. But what's your take on this? Let's talk about it.